The hallway camera at 2:09 a.m. showed me standing outside my apartment door. Same pajamas, same build, same face, but the bedroom camera had me in bed. Both cameras running simultaneously. Same timestamp. I verified the sync 3 times, and then I heard a voice, low, right in my ear. So close I could feel the temperature drop. It said my name, not hey or excuse me, my full name, Marcus Daniel Reeves. And in the far corner, arranged neatly on top of an old filing cabinet, 11 small pieces of folded paper, all blank, all waiting. 3 people, 3 different states, 3 apartments, Portland, Oregon, Chicago, Illinois, Burlington, Vermont. None of them knew each other. None of them had anything in common, except one thing. Their landlords each left one rule, just one. Marcus thought his rule was ridiculous. A strange little note from an old man. He laughed it off. Jennifer thought her rule was a liability clause. She was a nurse. She understood safety protocols. She didn't worry. Daniel didn't even remember getting his rule. He found it in a drawer 6 months after moving in. By then, it was already too late. Tonight, 3 rules. 3 tenants who broke them. 3 stories that none of them have been able to explain. Let's start in Portland. The note was taped to the inside of my mailbox on my first day in the building. Not under my door. Not on the kitchen counter with the spare keys. Inside the mailbox, like whoever left it wanted to make sure only I would find it. It was handwritten on a torn piece of yellow legal pad. The handwriting was neat, but the letters were pressed so hard into the paper, they'd almost torn through. It said, "Do not use the back stairwell after 10 p.m. That was it. No explanation, no signature, no name. I asked my landlord about it the next morning. He was an older man, Mr. Harlan, mid-70s, always wore the same gray cardigan. He looked at the note, handed it back to me, and said, very quietly, "I should have put that up before you moved in." I apologize. I asked him why. He said, "Just don't use the back stairs after 10. Please." I'd been living in Portland for 3 weeks at that point. I'd just transferred schools, new city, new job, new apartment. I was a high school math teacher trying to get my life in order after a divorce. I thought Mr. Harlan was just old, eccentric. I filed it away and forgot about it. I forgot about it for exactly 43 days. October 14th. I remember the date because it was the night before parent-teacher conferences. I'd stayed late grading papers. It was just past 10:30 when I got back to the building. The front entrance was propped open. The elevator was stuck on the 6th floor. I could see it on the panel, just sitting there. I had 3 bags of groceries. I lived on the 4th floor. I looked at the front stairwell door. Then, I looked at the back stairwell door. The back stairwell was closer. By a lot. I told myself Mr. Harlan was old and paranoid. I told myself it was 10:30, not midnight. I told myself it was just stairs. I pushed open the back stairwell door. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Not bad, exactly, just wrong. Like someone had sprayed air freshener over something damp, floral and rot at the same time. The second thing I noticed was how quiet it was. Buildings have sounds, pipes, FAC, neighbors. The back stairwell had nothing. Total silence, like sound itself didn't work right in there. I started up the stairs. I made it to the 2nd floor landing when I heard it. Footsteps above me. Slow, deliberate, each one measured, each one precise. I stopped, listened. The footsteps stopped too. I told myself it was a neighbor. Obviously it was a neighbor. It was an apartment building in Portland, not a haunted house. I kept climbing. 3rd floor landing. I was almost there. That's when I heard the breathing. Not above me anymore. Beside me. Right beside me, at the same level, maybe 3 feet away. There was nothing there, just the wall. The painted concrete wall of a Portland apartment building stairwell. But whatever was breathing wasn't human. The rhythm was wrong. Too slow, too deliberate, like something that had learned to imitate breathing but hadn't quite gotten it right. I didn't run. I'm not sure why. My body just froze. And then I heard a voice, low, right in my ear, so close I could feel the temperature drop. It said my name, not hey or excuse me, my full name, Marcus Daniel Reeves. I don't know how I made it to the 4th floor. I just remember being inside my apartment with the chain lock on, sitting on the kitchen floor, still holding my groceries. I called Mr. Harlan at 11 p.m. He answered on the first ring, like he was waiting. I said, something in that stairwell knows my name. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, that's how I know it found you. I moved out 3 weeks later. Mr. Harlan told me only one thing before I left, that the rule wasn't to protect the stairwell, it was to protect me. After 10 p.m., whatever lived in there became aware. Of names, of faces, of people who hadn't yet been found. I broke the rule. It found me. I live on the other side of Portland now. Different building, different street, different life. But sometimes, at night, I'll wake up at exactly 10:30, and I'll hear something breathing, right outside my door. The rule was in the lease. One line, buried in section 14, between the clause about subletting and the one about noise after 11 p.m. Tenant agrees not to interfere with, open, or approach the door marked utility, B2 in the lower level. I was an ER nurse. I'd read plenty of medical consent forms, hospital policies, insurance documents. I was used to skimming fine print. I initialed it without thinking. That was my first mistake. I moved into the building on West Diversey in late February. 4th floor, 1 bedroom. The price was good, suspiciously good for that neighborhood. I told myself I was just lucky. I was new to Chicago, fresh out of my nursing program, starting my first position at Northwestern Memorial. I was busy. I was tired. I didn't think about the basement. Not until the notes started. The first one appeared on my welcome mat in March. Small piece of paper, folded in half. I thought it was a building announcement. I unfolded it in the doorway. Keys still in hand, 12-hour shift just finished. It was a single sentence. You should eat something before your next shift. I didn't know anyone in the building. I'd spoken to maybe 2 tenants in the elevator. I assumed it was someone being friendly. I threw it away. The second note came in April. The patient in bed 7 tonight wasn't telling you the truth. I stood in my hallway for a full minute reading that sentence. Bed 7 that night had been a man in his 40s. Chest pain. We'd stabilized him, sent him for imaging. Routine. Except, I'd had a feeling. Something about his story didn't add up. I'd flagged it mentally and moved on. I checked the next morning. He'd been admitted for deliberate medication overdose, not cardiac. I'd been right. But I had never told anyone that thought. No one knew. More notes came. 1 a week, sometimes 2. Always small things, never threatening. More like someone watching out for me. The kind of things only a person who knew me very well would notice. You left your car lights on. The milk in your fridge is from last Tuesday. You're not sleeping enough. It will catch up with you. By June, I'd collected 11 notes. I kept them in a folder. I don't know what made me go down to the basement on a Wednesday night in July. It was past midnight. I'd finished a double shift. I told myself I was just checking where the laundry room was. A lie I almost believed. The basement hallway was fluorescent lit and smelled like concrete and old water. I walked past the laundry room, past the storage units. At the end of the hallway was a gray metal door. Utility, B2. There was a padlock on it. Heavy, undisturbed, but on the floor in front of the door, a small piece of folded paper. I picked it up. It said, "I know you came. I've been waiting. Don't open this door, Jennifer. I'm not ready for you to see me yet." I gave my notice the next morning. Lost my deposit, didn't care. Before I moved out, I asked building management to open the B2 room. I needed to see inside. They said it had been sealed since 1987 after a structural issue. The lock hadn't been touched in years. They opened it for me. Inside, old boiler equipment, dust, cobwebs, a concrete floor that hadn't been walked on in decades, and in the far corner, arranged neatly on top of an old filing cabinet, 11 small pieces of folded paper, all blank, all waiting. I still think about those notes sometimes, about how they were never threatening, never cruel, always, almost, kind. And I wonder if whatever was in that basement was lonely, or if it was just patient. I found the rule by accident. I was cleaning out the kitchen junk drawer, batteries, rubber bands, takeout menus, and there was an envelope at the very back. Small white envelope. My name written on it in blue pen. Just Daniel. I'd moved into the apartment 8 months earlier. That envelope was not there when I moved in. I'm certain of that. I'm a software engineer. I think in systems. I notice things. I opened it. Inside was a single index card. Do not stand in the hallway outside your door after 2 a.m. Whatever you see out there, do not follow it. I read it 3 times. I had never sleepwalked in my life. By the following Monday, I'd woken up outside my apartment door twice. The first time, I told myself I'd gotten up for water and unlocked the door without realizing it. Sleep inertia happens. I went back inside, locked the door, went to sleep. The second time, I woke up standing in the hallway at 2:17 a.m. Both locks were engaged behind me. Deadbolt and knob. I didn't have my keys. I had to knock on my neighbor's door at 2 a.m. to borrow a phone. That week, I ordered 3 cameras. Bedroom, living room, hallway outside my door. I set them up on a Friday night. By Saturday morning, I had footage I still can't explain. The bedroom camera showed me sleeping. The entire night, midnight to 6 a.m., I did not move. I stayed in bed. I was asleep. The hallway camera at 2:09 a.m. showed me standing outside my apartment door. Same pajamas, same build, same face. But the bedroom camera had me in bed. Both cameras running simultaneously. Same timestamp. I verified the sync 3 times. I reviewed 6 weeks of hallway footage. 14 nights. 14 instances of a figure in my hallway between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And on 2 of those nights, the figure wasn't alone. Something was at the edge of frame, just outside the camera's range. Just standing, watching. I showed the footage to a colleague. Another engineer. He watched it 3 times without saying anything. Then he said, "Daniel, does the figure always face the door?" I said yes. He said, "Watch the reflection. In the peephole cover. You can just barely see it." I zoomed in on the peephole, a small convex mirror on the outside of my door. In the reflection, behind the figure standing in the hallway, my bed was visible. Through the closed door. Through the wall. And in my bed, I was sitting up, eyes open, looking at the door. I don't know which one was me. I moved out 4 months ago. New city, new apartment, ground floor. I still set up cameras when I move somewhere new. Last night, I woke up at 2 a.m. for no reason. I checked the bedroom camera. I was in bed, asleep. The hallway camera showed nothing. I watched it for 20 minutes, just to be sure. And right before I turned it off, at the very edge of frame, something moved. 3 apartments. 3 rules. 3 people who still can't explain what happened to them. Marcus still wakes up at exactly 10:30 every night. Jennifer still has those 11 blank notes in a folder. Daniel still checks his cameras every morning before he gets out of bed. None of them ever went back. If you're in a new place right now, check your lease. Check your drawers. Check the things your landlord told you and the things they didn't. Some rules exist for a reason. You're watching Nightmare Reads. If this one kept you awake, subscribe. There are more stories where these came from. And if you have a story of your own, something that happened in a place you lived, something you can't explain, send it in. The link is in the description. Sleep well. If you can.